note about this
Come on
occasion.
over here so we can see you.
Sue's original note about this occasion said toast and roast Stan. Now, this was a challenge, you know, because I like roasting people. And I said to myself, I've known
Tell us
Stan.
who you were.
I'm Larry Barrett, who met Stan in 1955, I believe, which is a long time ago. And, you know, I knew him at NYU, and I was from the Bronx, and I found out he was from Canada. You know, in my youthful experience, I knew foreigners from Staten Island. He was from Canada. I asked him a little bit about Canada, and he didn't really have it. So then I kept getting back to Sue's challenge here to roast Stan. I'm going through all my memories of Stan over these few years, since 1955, and I said to myself, after I realized the problem, he's Canadian. I mean, he's Canadian, you know. He's very nice, a little bland, but where are the faults that you can I finally found, after a lot of mental research, he runs the longest Seder this side of Crown Heights. Crown Heights and the beards to get a longer Seder than Stanley. I've got to put it to Stan. Next year's Stan, you know, a little editing. Every writing can use a little editing. But otherwise, here's to Stan, about whom there is very little negative to say. He's just a wonderful man.
No.
You're on.
Anybody else want to say something nice?
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Well, we got another one.
So, on Daphne's urging, I'm going to say something, but it's not really going to be too
You have to
fun.
tell people who you are.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm Rhonda Weiss, and I've known Stan for 33 years through our work together at the Department of Education. So I really don't take very many vacations, but in 2006, my husband and I had a great privilege of going to St. John's, New Brunswick. And I did not realize until I came back that we had actually met one of my husband's cousins for whom Stan's parents had worked, the Kalps. They owned the Kalps department store. So that was truly amazing. Then we went to Israel the next year. I don't think we met anybody that knew Stan. Not that I knew of. But actually there were a lot of people from JDS, and we kept on bumping into various people, but not Stan. But the next year we went to the Havurah Institute. Lo and behold, I'm talking to this really lovely woman. We spent a lot of time together, Rachel Greenberg, and then we figure out she also knows Stan. So I haven't really gone away very much, but it just is an example of how Stan's presence is ubiquitous. Okay, actually one more anecdote. So last year, a friend of my daughter's was graduating from JDS. And it turns out her family is Canadian. His family is Canadian. And I said to somebody, well, you know, I either go places and I meet people who know Stan Cohen, or another friend of mine, Max Ticton. And of course, they knew Stan Cohen. They knew him when he was deputy editor of the paper in Montreal in 1976. So it's really a blessing and a real privilege to be here. Thank you so much.
Wait.
I'd like to say something. Stan. Hello. I'm a minor character in this story. My name is Charley Sachs. I'm married to Jane, who has known Stan forever. And when I married Jane 20 years ago, Jane brought me to the Seders and to the Rosh Hashanah and all this. And although Stan does have a long Seder, I have to say that he prepares. And I've always learned something from Stan about Judaism every time. I've learned new things, interesting things, and it's been a treat for me. And so I want to thank Stan for that. And I sort of modeled myself after you in a way, because we have the break fast now. That's our tradition. And I give a little talk, and I try to prepare. And I think I'm always thinking, what would Stan say? actually, I try to borrow.
What would Jesus say?
And I even try to borrow some books from Stan, the old Seder books, which he's lent me a few times, to try to find interesting things. But the thing is that Stan does care about everybody. He prepares. He wants to give us something. It's not just eat and be merry. He wants to give to all of us something from his heart, and that he believes in, and that will make us better. And Stan, I really appreciate that. And you're, as far as I'm concerned, a great man.